Right, today we're going to show you how to ballast track. You need a pressurised atomizer, makeup brushes, ballast, UPVA glue, which is elsewhere but we have it, and a small spoon you use for dispensing cough medicine. Yeah, and we'll get started. So basically what you do is just work your way along the track. Putting it in position roughly where you want it to go. If I zoom in a bit, you can see exactly what's happening. And then you use a makeup brush to brush it along, so you've got it going exactly where you want it to go. Once you've put the ballast on, move it along with the makeup brush, being careful to dab it down and make sure there's none that is sticking up anywhere it shouldn't. And then you work it into the sides, not coming out too much, but roughly where it would be on a model railway. Now we did buy a ballast dispenser, but that only really works if the track is flat against the board, not if you're using cork. But the important thing is to take your time, working it between the rails, and making sure you haven't got too much sticking out at the outsides. And that you have sticking out, just brush it forward and you can use it further along. But the idea is to keep it uniform on the outside and not go mad with it. You don't be afraid to move it along, because you can, what you don't use on one part you can move forward and use on another, because once it gets stuck it's a devil's own job to get it back up again. And you use a little spoon just to put little bits in where it's gone, where it has or hasn't gone. But what your aim is not to do is have too much ballast at the sides. As I said, any you've got left over, as you can see, Susan's just brushing it forward and she can use it further on. So the idea is to keep it smooth and even, taking your time. So it is how it is. And it's also important to make sure that you haven't got any against the side where the train runs. But you can see it's coming along already. As you can see, the next part along. Just little bits in there like that, like so, which you can see. As I said, we spent £5 on a dispenser and it was absolute rubbish. And if you've got a little bit slightly over at the sides, you don't really want it, but you can work the scenery against the side of it into it. So you've basically got like a grass mound, so it's not going to kill you. But the important thing is to brush it forward what you've got at the outside, so it's not too wide there. But you can see it doesn't take long, just work it in. As you see, because there's a bit too much on the outside, that's fine, you don't waste any, you just work it forward. And move it along. And you've got the bigger makeup brush. And you can see, just keep working it in. And you can see it's already starting to come together. Well, you've got too many. I mean, you haven't got to be expensive makeup brushes. I do recommend Christian Dior. No, I'm only joking, but you know, it's because it's soft and and they work things in easy. And if you're a girl, you wouldn't want a face like a railroad track, but you know. But yeah, it's just a case of working it in. And basically you do that all the way along. Alright, you can see here the ballast is taking shape and it already looks pretty good. The next thing you have to do is use an atomizer to put water on. Now I see some videos people use a syringe, and the trouble with the syringe is the water can spurt out and it's too aggressive and moves what you've done, because bear in mind each one of these granules is really light, and we'll show you how to moisten down ballast without moving it. Right, I'm going to show you now how to dampen down the ballast so you don't move it. And all you use, hold it above and you can see that none of it is moving, because it's just a very light spray and it's dampening down all the ballast. If you can see, don't be afraid to get everything wet, and you can see you're dampening it all the way down. And that's it, it's that simple, and you can see there's no movement of it and it's becoming well and truly soaked in to position. And that's it, it's as simple as that. It's a hazel lock atomizer. And you can see there's no movement, it stayed exactly where it should stay, whereas if you use a syringe it takes a bloody ever, and 2 seconds it's done. Thank you. Right, the next thing you do is you mix up the glue. It's UPVA glue, and it's 40% glue, 60% water. UPVA glue, get it from anywhere. We're using a kettle but the water's not hot. And you mix it in. We're not feeding a racehorse, it hasn't got to be exact. Some people do it 50-50. And you put in a smidgen of washing up liquid. That helps, that adds as a lubricant for the glue to soak through the ballast. And you just mix it up like you're baking a cake. Right, what we're going to use now to glue it down is a pipette. We've seen people use syringes, we found them too aggressive. The idea is you're putting the glue on to soak through to set the ballast. If you can carry on. And you can see, just nice and gentle, moving along. And it soaks in. A little bit too much glue around the outside where it popped out, but that can be wiped up. But you can see it just soaks in nice and easy. Follow it along with the pipette. You're not disturbing anything, and you put liberal amounts on. And you can see the ballast is not moving. The important thing is you don't want the ballast to move. And with the pipette you've got a lot more control over how fast the fluid comes out. Now we're using a proper medical glass pipette. We bought some cheap modelling plastic ones and they weren't any good, not really. This is far better. And you can see exactly how this works. And basically you just keep doing that all the way along. Nice and simple. And it'll be dry in 24 hours. Now glue on the track, it's easy to get off with a track rubber. And you can see, you just cover it. Come back a bit. And you can see how easy, where we've dampened down the ballast, that the glue is just soaking in. And you can see here in this close-up how it just soaks in. And it's that simple for doing doing ballast. And you can see, just zoom out a bit. And you just follow your way along. And that's it.